Good afternoon, this is PsychicUnderLord. I want to come at you with another video talking about time travel. If you guys aren't familiar with us, please visit us at PsychicUnderLord.com, which is our Etsy store, where you can browse our rituals and understand more about our ritual descriptions, what we claim to provide, as well as all the reviews and different things that um, good news that has come to us that our rituals are working. And it's not just us, that it's actually people on the other side who are benefiting with many of the different modalities we provide. Today, I want to talk about an incident that I occurred when I first began time traveling in the Etsy shop. Um, I really began to examine my powers and examine my capabilities as a psychic. What can I legitimately provide for people? Things that they can actually feel, things that they can detect, the things that they can experience instantly versus things that they have to wait for, have to kind of walk it out. It's hard to walk out something when you already are at a deficit because of things that have happened to you. If you have certain unresolved traumas or certain insights that you have not learned, if the mind cannot live in reality and lives in a fantasy, you will not manifest what you're looking to receive if you cannot logically defend it in the physical reality and allow the spirit world to come in conjunction with it. We have many rituals that aid in bringing your mind over to the place where it needs to be so that you will be able to um, manifest what you're looking to receive. So that's the 1-2 parts. So there is a responsibility that a ritual buyer or buyer target has. But what do you do if you don't know how to do it? You just know that it's something that you want. Well, there are things that we can do, like on our side, so that you don't have to worry about it. And that's the whole point of why we started providing also the ritual set, because we give you dozens of rituals that you are not privy to, but these rituals are essential to give you the jump start of being able to manifest your rituals versus someone coming back and saying, now the ritual I got, now I can detect and understand what I don't have. So I have to come back and get this again. I have to get this that I never received. And then you have people that are, everyone is lopsided. So you have people that have a tremendous amount of spiritual power and can pull out things, can call forth things through the rituals and receive them, than others who are having challenges, whether it be through their inexperience, through uh, lack of experience. Maybe they've just become awakened. Maybe they just haven't had the time or the intellect to go through and start to learn to become enlightened the way that I have over the last 20 plus years. It's taken time because you also have to realize that there are a lot of things that are written are not true. What is the only thing that is true in this world is that the spirit realm triggers what happens here in the physical. And if people are not familiar and they don't have access into the spirit realm and have not been initiated, why do you think that people need to be under someone so that you can show yourself and become approved and receive approval? If you don't have that type of mindset and you want to kind of do things on your own and you want to have, kind of drive the bus, it's going to be hard for you because you're not easily led. So once you're led, at a certain point, the spirit realm begins to advocate on your behalf because you are also a spiritual being. So if you're being led by another human being, something is going to click over and say either that person is allowed to lead you or that person should not lead you. And then soon a voice will come forth and call you into initiation, and you'll be given your destiny control matrix assignment, your divine assignment, Now, that may be something you expected, maybe something you didn't expect. It may be something initially, and then may transform into something else. If you're, what if you tense up in the middle of the height of your flight? You can't tense up. You're going to have to flow, to move, and to make adjustments through the process of spiritual initiation. And the time travel outcome, when I realized I'm taking a person into such a sensitive place that I've been authorized and I've been taught and trained through the spirit to do this time travel, and I've actually structured it and had it so it's legit from beginning to end. Can I do this backwards? Can I do this and not mess it up? And is this a trick? All these type of questions that a psychic or a person, a spiritual medium, should be concerned with, especially in the beginning. Because if you haven't been given clearance on both sides of this thing, in the lightness and the dark, then you're also going to have more problems too, because you have not been clearly initiated. This Etsy store did not start until after I was initiated. I didn't even know that this was something I was supposed to be doing. It wasn't my desire. I'd never even been on Etsy. And then all of a sudden, I'm being instructed step by step of something that is I have to do. So, the outcomes. I designed uh, the spiritual locations so that we're able to have protective locations to operate. I can't, I couldn't take a risk of having someone who is not initiated, who doesn't have spiritual ears or eyes, or feelings, or strong enough senses to be able to feel and have intuition. I had to have simple instructions: left, right, up, or down. I had to have 2D concepts of leading people in. Next thing I knew, when I had already taken them in spiritually, in their mind, on their end, we used to do it at the same time, but I said that's problematic because so much happens and so many other people need help. If I have to devote a time in this type of process, there's a lot of other things that I may not be able to do. So I said, well, if I do it myself, then I know quickly, I'll know it's accurately done. And also, too, what does it benefit a person to dry clean their own clothes when you could just send it to a dry cleaner? So it's a much easier, simpler way of me providing the services for time travel. And I believe that even in the Psychic Underlord buyer warranty, or the ritual updates that are in those 4 featured items at the top of the page, you'll be able to see that if you go into the pictures, those locations are the actual locations. But the difference is I pull the person into those locations so they can see them in the spirit. They can smell them in the spirit. They can feel them in the spirit. I can lead you around the perimeter of the room. I did a whole lot of exercising and spiritual exercises, which was amazing. But uh, we began in those offices, because if I have those locations, people are able to see it and say that this is the one I choose. And if suppose you choose another one for a different time jump, you will be able to readily identify that this is a totally different room. And having the other rooms outside of there that you can't see, in those rooms leading to the actual time jump and leading to the actual time incidents. And I take people in through those doors and through portals and bringing them out and putting them back in. And then I realized that when we were going to take time jumps, reality wasn't standing still. What we had come to do was actually an active, physically mobile, rapidly moving physical location in another timeline that we were standing in. And I said, I can't have this person get hit by the car because they don't have spiritual instincts. So I was doing things, moving people around, um, in order to protect them, essentially, carrying them through the process so that they can achieve what we had outlined to do. And they were much more detailed and thorough because the person, I had to prompt them to be able to give them instructions that this is what I need, this is what I need, this is what I need. But in the end, they were not initiated. So there are certain things coming out of that time jump that they were not allowed to keep memory of. But to confirm directly and come out with the individuals and for them to say yes, because we also were toggling between our Etsy messages and the physical time jump. So there was enough time there for some real mistakes to happen between them typing and me responding and me receiving it, and then me navigating inside with them and them physically confirming, because I said, I have to test you in this room. I have to, can you go to space number 5? Tell me, what do you see? If they didn't see the same thing I saw, then there was a problem. They had to have the exact same vision. So I would test them copiously before we'd even go into the time jump location. But it just proved to me that it's a science and it's also an access. It's a spiritual access. For them to go in there, for that car to come around the corner, for people to appear, you think it's going to be linear. You think it's just going to be you and your ex-girlfriend, or for you to leave a letter for them, which is, I've done several time jumps where we had to do letter-based content to give exact instructions and exact warnings to preclude things that would happen in the future, which has worked, by the way, because now we see that those things have changed on their end, which is exciting. But it was also a tremendous amount of effort and a tremendous amount of risk. So I had to do that myself because I can trust my skills. I can see and I know what's happening. I know the feeling. I know the feeling of when something is going on. I know how to detect. And so I was able to, and then also concepts such as when you think you're bringing someone out, you're in a time jump, you're in the middle of a time travel, and I have to put a portal, but I have to put it 3 feet down because it manifests at a higher level than the person who is standing there. And I have to move it and actually force them in to get out and back into the room, because that's the way that timeline is set up. There are timelines that you haven't gone through. You can only go through one direction. You can only go through one direction. You can't take 2 and 3 timelines at the same time and stack them and go through them. I think that would be tremendously insane, because you would have, once I take you through those time jumps, which could probably be a horrible weapon, you come out having gone through 4 or 5 timelines, and now you're responsible and accountable for 4 to 5 different realities at the same time. And you're in this reality, then all of a sudden you get hit from multiple directions so that the future can be true based upon the past. I don't like to do stuff like that. I want stuff to be clean. The outcome was beautiful when she remembered. She said, "Oh, you lifted me up and took me in." That was one of the most scariest moments in having that individual in a house with an individual and in a room with an individual, not knowing that there are other people in the house. So the other people in the house, as well, in addition to me, her, and the individual, there are other people there. And this was an open area. So it was like people coming up the steps, and we completed everything. But I realized you don't have time to sit in a timeline, because the matrix of reality is going to start bringing content forward into your life through your senses, and let's talk about the pineal, the projection of the pineal, the visual that we're seeing, that we're experiencing. And they say that we're just sound, that we don't really exist. We really do exist, because that's why we're going through this hallucination of existence. So that is our existence. And it is physical. I'm going to say that too, because think about it. Reality has to be physical so that it can be real in our life. For that $500 to come into your hand, it's going to have to be physical, not only in your mentality or your mentalism, but it's going to have to be physical for you to experience it. So that's why we have to go back to basics. Once we understand the mechanics, and we can continue going down this rabbit hole with quantum mechanics. When quantum mechanics has rules that don't even line up, and then at a certain point they all agree that the rules are completely negated once they go down the rabbit hole deep enough, and it all vaporizes into nothing. So that is the higher power. So if it's not coming from the higher power, there's going to be a stoppage to what you're getting or what you think that you're getting, because there's no substance to it. What you have is something that will evaporate. What Psychic Underlord has is something that cannot evaporate because it came as a direct result of the process of the initiation and the forming of my so-called talent for the new world, specifically for the new world. And you can go through all this stuff, but the best way to experience it is to experience it for yourself. Just like, for example, you get the happy person alter ego, and you're more happy than you've ever been. Why am I doing that? Why am I giving you something that you can just do yourself? Because the truth is that most people cannot make themselves do anything except for what they're accustomed to. And even when they do it, people who are basic and ordinary people find that they can't do it to an ultimate degree. So this allows you to do things and have it effortlessly, just like taking your clothes to dry cleaning, having the dry cleaner do it, and let me give you the garments back with the plastic around it, and you can touch the garment and see that it has truly been dry cleaned, and I didn't have to do it myself. And it's going to stay just like that for a whole year or longer. So thank you so much. That's just a little bit talking about time travel outcomes. There are many stories, awesome stories. I was almost in tears. I believe I did cry when the woman told me. She said, "Yes, you were in blue." And this was not discussed. This is just what she had seen. She was in the place. She had seen and gone through all of this. And just beautiful to change lives like this, where people cannot unsee what they saw, and they cannot undo what they've done through divining ritual and through the truth of the spirituality of the Psychic Underlord brand. So we thank you so much. I'm going to put this here on the YouTube page. Please subscribe to our channel so you get news of any new videos that we have, live videos as well. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon.